You might know Snoop Dogg as the cool and fun hip-hop uncle who was always laid back and chilling. He is often seen doing family-friendly and goofy things, be it appearing on a cooking show alongside Martha Stewart or commentating on the Olympics alongside Kevin Hart. These shows can really make your stomach ache with laughter. But is this really who Snoop Dogg is? Or is he hiding a dark past behind his fun and laid-back persona? If you take a look at Snoop's criminal record, you will realize that indeed this is the case. And Snoop is one of the most dangerous and feared rappers on the scene right now. If you want to know more about what makes Snoop Dogg so dangerous, keep watching the video. The criminal history of Snoop Dogg. In the era of studio gangsters, rappers often create a fake gangster persona just to sell records. Rappers claim to be a gangster even if they're not really about that life. Sometimes this leads to very severe repercussions. You see, the streets show no mercy. When gangs find out that someone is using their name to sell records, without actually being one of them, you are in big trouble. But thankfully, D.O.G. is not a studio gangster. He is really about that life, and that is why he is still alive and kicking it. In spite of having a loving family, Snoop Dogg found himself involved with a local neighborhood gang at a very young age on the east side of Long Beach, California. The gang was none other than the infamous Rolling 20s Crips. Snoop has never hesitated to show his gang affiliation to the world, be it his choice of clothes at the Super Bowl, his Crip walk, or his song lyrics. He represents his gang in every aspect of his life, and very proudly. Dogg was arrested for the first time in 1989 just after he graduated from high school for the possession of cocaine. And the very next year in 1990, he was convicted of felony possession of drugs and possession for sale. The next couple of years, Snoop went on to visit prison frequently. But these charges were nothing compared to what was about to come next for Snoop. One August afternoon, Snoop Dogg and his bodyguard McKinley Lee, aka Malik, ran into two men from the rival gang who were sitting at a picnic table enjoying their Mexican food at Palms Park. Unfortunately, this wasn't the first time Snoop and Malik encountered these two men in the day. They saw them just a few hours ago, just outside Snoop's apartment. The situation was exacerbated quickly after a heated verbal exchange between the two gangs when Snoop's bodyguard Malik, one of the guys from the rival gang, Philip Walder Merriam, aka Little Smooth, who died on the spot. Snoop, who was driving the Jeep, sped off just after Malik, the rival gang member. He later admitted regretting not calling the cops. Dogg was only 21 years old at the time the incident happened. Snoop, along with his bodyguard, was charged with a first-degree case. What followed was a long trial that lasted for years. Early on in the trial, things were not looking good for Snoop and his bodyguard, as the claim that they acted in self-defense had no strong evidence. But luckily for Snoop and Malik, it was later testified by a friend of Philip, who was present at the scene, that Philip was indeed strapped and that they hid his weapon to protect him. This evidence was enough, along with the negligence from LAPD, and it led to Snoop and Malik being both acquitted of their charges on February 20th, 1996. But this wasn't Snoop's last encounter with the law. Just next year, after being acquitted from the charges, Snoop pleaded guilty to possession of a handgun, which was found when police searched his car. Due to this crime, he was fined $1,000 and was on probation for 3 years. He has also been arrested and fined multiple times for misdemeanor possession of marijuana in Los Angeles in 1998, Ohio in 2001, and Texas in 2010. Snoop's criminal history doesn't end here. Snoop had a good amount of legal trouble beyond borders as well. On April 26 in 2006, he was arrested for vandalizing a duty-free shop and fighting with police in Heathrow Airport in London, after the rapper and members of his entourage were not allowed entry into the first-class lounge, as some members of his entourage were flying economy class. The incident resulted in as many as 7 police officers being injured. As a consequence of this incident, Snoop had to spend the night in jail, but he was later released the next day on bail. However, His visa was banned, and he was denied entry into the United Kingdom, but as of now, he is allowed in the UK. He was detained again at John Wayne Airport, Orange County, California on September 2006, after airport security found a collapsible baton in his bag. He was arrested again the following month at Bob Hope Airport, Burbank, for possession of and suspicion of transporting an unspecified amount of marijuana. Snoop was banned from entering Australia in April 2007 on the basis of character grounds by the Department of Immigration and Citizenship, citing his prior criminal records. However, this ban was lifted in September 2008. He was only banned from entering Norway for 2 years in July 2012 for entering the country the month before with possession of 8 grams of marijuana and a lot of undeclared cash. Snoop was also sued for a case, but the case was withdrawn after Snoop Dogg countersued the plaintiff for extortion. Snoop Dogg's success. Despite having a controversial career full of ups and downs and a vast criminal record, Snoop Dogg managed to achieve success in his life that only a few artists have been able to do, selling 25 million albums in the US and 35 albums worldwide, multiple platinum records, 17 Grammy nominations, an Emmy Award, and these are just the achievements he has had in his music career. Apart from his music career, Snoop has made a reputation of him in many other fields. You can find Snoop Dogg in the most unexpected places with the most unexpected people doing the most unexpected things. Be it appearing on a cooking show with Martha Stewart, having a guest appearance in the WWE, or commenting on the Olympics with Kevin Hart. Snoop has successfully made appearances in super hit movies, started podcasts, and given his voice to popular games. Many people compare Snoop Dogg to a video game protagonist who has completed his main mission and is now just doing side quests. Snoop is not only a rapper, but a media personality, actor, and entrepreneur. He recently bought Death Row Records, the same label he was once signed under. Snoop Dogg has been a huge influence in rap music. Right from the beginning of his debut album, Doggy Style, hit the #1 spot on Billboard charts, and new school rappers like Kendrick Lamar and Schoolboy Q have said that it was a huge influence on them. Snoop also popularized the hip-hop genre called G-Funk. With all his achievement, Snoop has been able to build a really vast and strong fan base all over the world. Also, being in business for so long, he has some very strong connections as well. Snoop's criminal history, his vast fan base who is willing to do anything for him, alongside his connection in the music industry, are enough to make this man the most dangerous rapper alive, and he can literally make or break anyone's career. Maybe that is the reason no one dares go against Snoop, be it new school or old school rappers. Of course, with the exception of Eminem, who had a beef with Dogg, as he took shots at Snoop on his song Zeus, after Snoop refused to acknowledge Eminem as top 10 rappers of all time. But Snoop later apologized to Eminem, and later they performed at the Super Bowl together, and even released a collab song recently called From the D to the LBC. From charges to being banned by multiple countries and selling millions of albums, worldwide, Snoop's life has been a roller coaster ride full of ups and downs. What do you think makes Snoop Dogg one of the most dangerous rappers in the scene?